Picture this scenario. You're a police officer working in a small town, let's say somewhere in southern New Mexico. You're in the middle of your shift, have a few traffic violations under your belt, hovering around a Walmart parking lot, just hoping for a shoplifter or two to meet that quota. And then the unthinkable happens. A driver fails to complete a stop exiting the lot. So you do what any reasonable officer would do and you pull the person over. And considering the testosterone-filled position of power that you're in, you got to conduct at least one invasive pat-down for absolutely no reason. A pat-down that ends in 8 separate invasive medical procedures. Shockingly, this is exactly what happened in Deming, New Mexico to a man named David Eckert. See, once police pulled him out of his vehicle, they claimed he clenched his buttocks, prompting officers to automatically assume that he must be hiding narcotics in his anal cavity. Because of course there would be no other reason why you would be nervous during a police interrogation. Yes, according to Deming police, a clenched ass is a sure sign that you are a drug mule. Now get this, the man was detained and while in custody, officers somehow managed to obtain a search warrant from a judge that allowed for an anal cavity search. Thankfully, doctors in the town's emergency room refused to perform the procedure, claiming that it was unethical. But the cops weren't willing to give up so easily, so they took Eckert to the next town, Silver City, where they found physicians more than willing to aid in their cavity search. And according to KOB4 Eyewitness News, who obtained the medical records, this is what happened next. Eckert first received an abdominal x-ray where no drugs were found. Then Eckert received 2 anal exams, where once again, no drugs were found. What happens next is actually beyond comprehension, because you'd think that by now the x-ray and manual anal exams would have been enough to prove this man's innocence. But see, the cops had already gone this far, so why not take it all the way, am I right? So doctors then performed an enema and forced Eckert to defecate in front of police, where they proceeded to search through his fecal matter. Not 1 enema, not 2 enemas, but 3 separate enemas administered against his will 3 times. Oh, now, if you think the story couldn't get any crazier, you're wrong. Because before being x-rayed yet again, he was then prepared for surgery, mind you, never giving consent to the medical professionals doing this to him. And after being sedated, he was given a colonoscopy, painful medical procedure involving a camera traveling past your colon and into your intestines. But the best part of all, after this insane ordeal that sounds more like a scene out of a horror movie than reality, is that the hospital actually had the audacity to bill Eckert for all the medical procedures he was forced to endure. I kid you not. They've even threatened to send him to collections if he doesn't foot the bill for essentially being tortured against his will. Needless to say, Eckert has filed federal charges. He's suing the city of Deming, all of the officers involved. He's also suing the county, along with the deputy district attorney, and of course the Gila Regional Medical Center, and 2 of their most spineless physicians. And, you know, he's got a pretty good case, because besides everything I just outlined, the warrant wasn't even valid in the county during the time of these procedures. Hopefully receiving a multi-million-dollar settlement, guess who's left to foot that bill? Well, the taxpayers, of course. Look, those police officers had a choice. Issue this man a ticket and go home. But no, they chose to spend the entirety of their day probing a man's anus and searching through his feces. My question is, what kind of deranged sociopath do you have to be to choose the latter?